there, all you actual hookers and blades of YouTube. It's time for some mixed combo action as we check out Golden Gate Payoff. The early, lawless days of video in Britain gave exposure to some ultra-obscure oddities, films that had barely been seen prior to the advent of video and would have completely fallen through the cracks of time had they not been. Films that fit into this category include Deathbed, The Bed That Eats, Bart LaRue's Satan War, Johnny Vick, and the Jekyll and Hyde portfolio. In a more pornographic vein, 1980 saw Probe Video put out a value for money double bill of Night of the Animals and Golden Gate Payoff. Probe were a short-lived softcore label whose scant output entirely consisted of imported American skin flicks and shot-on-video British erotica. Probe put out 2 volumes of something called Mirage, which were these 1-hour tapes consisting of erotic dance routines, sort of more ruder versions of what the likes of Legs & Co and Hot Gossip were doing on TV at the time. More interesting though were Probe's American acquisitions, especially the pairing of Night of the Animals and Golden Gate Payoff. Although these films share no cast and crew, and one I think was filmed in LA and the other in San Francisco, this was an apt pairing of 2 like-minded, bottom-of-the-barrel, mixed combo, interracial skin flicks that played to the mixed combo genre's archetypes of brutish, sexually aggressive black males, submissive, sexually unfulfilled white females, and ineffectual, sexually inept white men. Both of these films are instantly overwhelming in their cheapness. To deal with the lesser of the 2 films first, Night of the Animals is a home invasion flavoured soft porno in which 2 convicts, one black, one white, escape from prison and then go on a mini rampage that involves sinking an axe into the head of a female passerby and shooting up a liquor store before breaking into the home of an uptight white family. The head of this unhappy home is tied to a chair, humiliated, and seems in frequent danger of losing his terrible wig. His daughter is predictably the subject of sexual assault by both convicts. His wife, however, enters into the spirit of things by raping a passing police officer who the 2 convicts have taken hostage.
No, don't kill him, don't kill him! I have a better idea. I want to rape him. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rape him, sure.
He's cute.
Why not, man? Come on.
Twisted and fucked up as Night of the Animals is, the film never really gets it together, with inept filmmaking sinking it as both a crime thriller and a softcore sex piece. And there is a little too many narrative distractions, like the 2 convicts attempt to contact an acquaintance by phone, who is too busy bawling his old lady to give a fuck about them. While Night of the Animals is a strictly softcore affair, its co-feature, Golden Gate Payoff, began life as hardcore, and today coexists in both its original hardcore version, which is called Gina the Foxy Chick, and the edited down to softcore version, Golden Gate Payoff. I imagine that if you'd grown up in front of a television in the 1960s, you'd have been struck by a sense of deja vu while watching the opening credits of either Gina the Foxy Chick or Golden Gate Payoff, as the film's opening credits are scored to a cover version of the theme tune to The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Otherwise, however, Golden Gate Payoff has nothing to do with The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and everything to do with the hoe from San Francisco, namely Gina, who, despite the Gina the Foxy Chick aka title, is actually a blonde-haired white woman, one who is addled in life by a no-good honky old man Buck. Buck is a hopeless gambler whose debts force him to turn Gina over to one of his gambling buddies, a black pimp called Prince.
I just got the word that he blew 600 to the Dutchman at the pool table. And get this straight, bitch. He doesn't have any more collateral.
Prince, I'm not feeling well. Can we call it a night?
Sure, Gina. Think about it.
Prince might not be a prince among men, but he sure is a step up from Buck. And thanks to Prince, Gina is soon earning a steady income by attending the interracial orgies that Prince organises, as well as receiving some good sex from Prince on the side. Unfortunately, as soon as Gina is making some dough, Buck is losing it thanks to his gambling addiction, and being an arsehole, he even slaps Gina around after she admits to fucking about with Prince, even though it was Buck who suggested she should sell her ass in the first place.
Prince knows more for me than you do.
You bitch.
Buck's gambling ways, though, give the filmmakers the chance to give us the grand tour of all the loser hangouts that 1970s San Francisco had to offer, from pool halls, smoky back rooms playing host to card games, and at Buck's lowest point, joining two dudes who are rolling dice down a back alley. If this film doesn't have a great deal on its side, it certainly has a sleazy authenticity to it, and its makers sure knew their shit when it came to dirty dives. Golden Gate Payoff works best when it's in pseudo-documentary, heavily improvised mode, with scenes of Buck and Prince playing pool and cutting cards that kind of impression the filmmakers were merely following these two dudes around as they were hanging out and shooting the breeze. Only when the film tries to behave in a more disciplined manner, with pre-scripted scenes, does Golden Gate Payoff threaten to come apart at the seams, with actors blowing lines, looking off camera. There is even one instance where no one appears to have told the lead actress that the scene has ended, and she just sits there for a few moments looking confused, before finally realising the scene's over and walking out of shot.
It doesn't matter to me how I pay my debts.
As with Night of the Animals, there's small aspirations here towards the crime genre, as Buck unwisely rips off the two guys from down the alleyway, and in doing so incurs the titular Golden Gate Payoff at the end of the film. I suppose there's also a slight affiliation with blaxploitation here, what with the Gina the Foxy Chick aka title, and the use of a black pimp as the sort of hero here. Although Golden Gate Payoff feels like someone's attempt to make a film centred around the type of white people who be secondary characters in a blaxploitation film, with Gina being the sort of slutty white mama who get her ass kicked by Pam Grier in a blaxploitation movie. Golden Gate Payoff is the sort of film that will really separate the genuine exploitation film aficionados from the type of posers who like to muscle in on and proclaim themselves experts on exploitation movies, yet moan and whine, why do these films have to be so exploitive, when confronted by unrepentant filth like this film, or Sleazy Rider, or Sinner's Blood, or Wrong Way. For others though, Golden Gate Payoff is everything you'd ever hope dirty movies would be like. Crude, lewd, antisocial, and with no pretense towards social respectability or conventional filmmaking standards. Want to know just how low down Golden Gate Payoff can get? There's a scene where Gina and another hooker discuss the pros and cons of whoring, whilst the other hooker is using the crapper.
If you need any tips, you just ask old Trixie. She'll set you straight.
And yes, later on in that scene we do get to see her wiping her ass. Golden Gate Payoff is that low down. If that wasn't enough, Golden Gate Payoff also tiptoes into being a full-on ruffian in its third act, when Gina is kidnapped by sex fiends. After being hustled into the back of a van, Gina is then forced to go down on an Oriental lady, before the Oriental lady's male henchmen also force themselves on her. A scene whose nastiness is only slightly undercut by the Oriental actress's stilted acting in broken English, especially hilarious is her screwing up of the line, "You suck the cock," which she begins by saying, "You cut the," and then corrects herself by saying, "You suck the cock," and what a line to blow. To give credit where it's due, the consensual sex scenes here aren't without an erotic charge, with sex scenes showing a particular preference towards group sex and performers who appeared authentically turned on, with the sex here showing none of the ineptness towards expressing emotions that the sponge displays during the rest of the film. By far the most audacious sex scene here involves Buck having multiple position sex with an old girlfriend in what appears to be a public place, maybe a park of some sort, with the Golden Gate Bridge in the background and sailboats going past as this couple are having for real sex in public view. This though is in keeping with the anything goes, let it all hang out attitude of Golden Gate Payoff, whether it's in the use of the Man from U.N.C.L.E. theme tune, the open air bawling, or the interracial sex with scenes of Ebony and Ivory loving together in perfect harmony, enough to rattle a few conservative cages alone back then. An authentic relic of early 70s San Francisco, Golden Gate Payoff seems generally born out of a rebellious desire to make some bread, cause some outrage, film some bawling, and generally give the finger to the man. Anyway, that's all for now, so all that remains for me to say is good night and God bless.